Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Talos of Tech live on Twitch. Yes, I've got iOS 14 Developer Beta 2 on my iPhone. Sorry for the second of darkness. I switched the wrong scene on accident. I gotta put those two scenes together. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I do have some bad news that I wanted to talk about first, though, and it's about Twitch, so I figured best way to talk about it would be on Twitch, given those of you who watch the Twitch streams are probably well aware of how Twitch works and what we use Twitch for. So I'm not happy to talk about this, but I feel like it's a direction that I should let you guys know about from the get-go. I got a copyright strike on my Twitch page for reacting to Worldwide Developers Conference by Apple. This strike came directly from Apple. And basically, a lot of the copyright problems we've run into with YouTube are now kind of spilling over into Twitch land as Twitch grows and Twitch gets bigger. They weren't really enforcing it that much. I know that they had some type of copyright policy in place, basically, but they weren't enforcing it very much. And I always saw that Twitch was a lot more chill about reacting to events and watching live streams and that kind of thing, because I mean, people on Twitch straight up like listen to music on Spotify while they're playing games, or that some people's Twitch account is literally just them watching YouTube videos. It's just them browsing meme compilations and watching videos and stuff like that. So it's kind of bizarre to me that they're finally, maybe they got threatened with a lawsuit or something. I'm not really up to date with what's going on behind the scenes at Twitch, but they've decided to start taking very similar to action what YouTube has done, which is, in case you're wondering why we don't do live reactions to Apple events on YouTube, is because YouTube takes them down, they block them, or you will get a copyright strike for them. Apple never gave me a copyright strike on YouTube. They would just take down the video so you couldn't watch it, which kind of sucks, defeats the point. Whereas some people are already figuring that out here on Twitch. The copyright strike system on Twitch is almost worse. I think arguably worse than YouTube, because copyright strikes on here do not expire, which is a scary part. That means that because I have this copyright strike from Apple on my Twitch page now, it will be here permanently. It won't expire. It won't go away. And if you get 3 strikes, you're permanently banned from the platform. You can't come back. You can't make an alternate account or anything like that. So yeah, basically, I have had to take down all my previous streams here on Twitch. There weren't a ton of them, but I didn't want to pull any more chances, because I have been reacting to events here on Twitch for years now. I started doing it in early 2018, and I've reacted to Google events, Samsung events, Apple events, Sony events, all kinds of live streams we've reacted to here on Twitch, and we've never had an issue. I've never been contacted by a company that said, hey, you got to take this down. I've never been contacted by any of these brands before that said, hey, you can't react to that thing. It's particularly bizarre to get it from Apple, and I don't blame Tim, or I don't blame, the higher-ups at Apple, because I'm sure this is just some legal department that has nothing to do with their development and is just saying, issue DMCA, takedowns across as many platforms as you can. So I don't think it's all of Apple's fault. It's not all of Apple's decision to do this. It's probably one person that's part of a legal team that decided to do this, which is frustrating. Mixer is shutting down later this month, so there's no bother bringing up Mixer. They already announced that's being shut down. What's bizarre about it to me with the Apple reaction is that it'd be one thing if I was live streaming something that was behind a paywall. If I was live streaming my reaction to, say, like Avengers Endgame, I could kind of get it, because that's some kind of paid title that Disney or Marvel wants me to pay for, and I'm letting you guys watch it for free. But when it's Apple, they let you watch that for free on YouTube, they stream it on Twitter, they let you watch it on their website for free. There's no ads, there's no commercials or anything. It's not like they're even losing ad revenue by me reacting to it. If anything, I'm helping them because I'm hyping up the event and talking about it and letting my followers know about it, and they want to watch my reaction and stuff. So I found that particularly bizarre that a company that intentionally live streams a keynote for free is willing to copyright strike people just for watching it and providing their commentary on it, which I believe falls completely under fair use, but doesn't matter because the strike has been issued. Scott, thank you for the Twitch Prime. So sorry to hear about this, Drew. Quick, take my sub before they come after you. Yeah, Discord's even messier. It gets complicated, but Dub Dub was streamed everywhere for free, so it's weird they're going out of their way to do DMCA takedowns. It's a division of Apple that I'm sure is not controlled by a bunch of people. I don't think everybody that is in charge of Apple intentionally did this. I think it's probably some type of new policies coming to Twitch that is allowing people to do these copyright strikes a lot easier than before because Twitch was likely threatened with a lawsuit. So what it essentially means is my live reactions here on Twitch are going to be much more difficult now. I'm still going to do them, I think. Maybe if not enough people watch them, I'll stop doing them. But essentially, it's a lot more complicated now because I will live stream my reaction, but you will have to watch the event on a separate screen. So it's not impossible for us to keep doing these Apple Sheep Reacts because I enjoy doing them. I think they're a lot of fun. I like talking throughout Apple events anyway, and I like watching them with you guys. So basically the challenge is going to be you guys have to pull up the event on a different device, on a different screen, and watch me on another one. And I get that not everyone wants to do that because it's hard or it takes too much time. So the viewership or the number of people that want to watch the Apple Sheep React streams are probably going to go down. I completely understand that, and I get that. But because Twitch has confirmed with me that copyright strikes do not expire like they do on YouTube, they don't go away. That means I'm gonna have it for life. I'm gonna be extra careful now on Twitch, so I'm not gonna do any more event reactions. And that also means I'm going to be extra cautious with the music we use on Twitch. So you notice I didn't do the dancing countdown this time is because I just want to be extra precautious because I love Twitch. It's taken me a long time to build the fan base and the audience we have on Twitch. I enjoy the Twitch. What I love about it is it has that free way for people to support me, which we don't have. A riff tracks to avoid copyright issues, kind of. In that way. But what I love about Twitch is you guys are able to support me without paying anything, which I love that being built into the site because so many people have Amazon Prime. It's one of the most common memberships in America. And the fact that any of you who have Twitch Prime can support me and I get paid for free is kind of unparalleled. I'm not going to get that on DLive. I'm not going to get that on Mixer. I'm not going to get that on Facebook. Everywhere else I'm going to have to rely more heavily on donations or ad revenue, and I know how long it takes to get people to move to platforms. Like, I've been promoting Twitch for years now, and we still have, what, how many followers? Like 8,400. Still a lot, but if you consider that I've gotten 8,400 followers over the course of 2 to 3 years from a channel that's had over 100,000 subscribers, that effect would be compounded in the event that I move to an even smaller site like DLive or something like that. Michael, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub for 22 months. That's a lot of commitment, but proving my point earlier. As well as a late Joey1. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. The worst news is that he won't dance anymore. We will try our best to get the dance back. We might not have it for a while, but the main issue with the dance was not copyright. It was just the music I was dancing to. And the dance wouldn't really work as well if I just swapped out the music. So I'll probably talk to Randy, or maybe I'll talk to some other people about finding some music that I'll be 100% safe to use. The countdown music currently is the same music we use for our tech podcast and the tech videos. They're 100% made by Randy, so we have complete permission and legal reason to use them. There's no problem there. Yeah, well, now we've surpassed 200,000 subscribers. I just mean, back when we started Twitch, we didn't have 200,000 subs. That didn't happen till this year. So, trying to make 21st century digital Millennium Copyright Act is highly outdated, Drew. Yeah, I agree the copyright laws are incredibly dated. I personally don't feel like anything I was doing on Twitch was deserving of a strike, but the problem is I don't make the rules. I don't see what the harm is in reacting to a free online event and having people watch it with me, because I said multiple times throughout the live stream, like, if you guys want to watch it yourself, you can watch it on Apple's website, you can watch it on YouTube. It's very bizarre to me that they're starting to do this, but I can't say it wasn't without warning. Viper asked me about it a while ago on Twitter. He was saying, like, a bunch of people are getting copyright strikes on Twitch now. And it's kind of inevitable. It's sort of what has to happen. The public beta is not out, by the way. Don't ask. It's not out. It's probably coming out later this week. But no, the public iOS 14 beta is still not available. As Twitch has grown quite a bit, there's actually, I think they've had like record high viewership numbers now. They're still growing as a fan base. And now the fact that Mixer is shutting down, a lot of people are going to come back or come to Twitch for the first time. Twitch is growing, they're getting bigger, and when you get bigger, you run into more issues, especially with the law, and all of the same legal teams and all of the same people trying to hold up these kind of outdated copyright laws that went after YouTube, that has forced YouTube to have these copyright strike systems. They're now coming after Twitch because of how large it is and how many people have gotten away with just live streaming stuff. Because it is true that a lot of people have streamed stuff on Twitch that was not supposed to be streamed on Twitch, and is, you know, I think justified taking down some Twitch accounts when they start streaming stuff that's, you know, not, you know, stuff that you should be paying for that's not free elsewhere, but you're streaming it for free to get views. The issue is the moment someone sues, they have to get really strict, and that's probably what happened. I don't know word for word what's going on behind the scenes, but all I know is that Twitch has suddenly cracked down very heavily on their copyright laws and that kind of thing, so luckily, the majority of what I do on Twitch is this, so it's not completely changing all of what Twitch is for. It just kind of, probably the biggest thing my Twitch page is used for is things like event reactions, and obviously we still can do those, just not to the same extent, and it won't be as easy. I already know it's going to be very complicated because it means that we're going to have to, like, my reaction is going to be delayed if you guys are watching my reaction and the Apple event at the same time. So you'll probably have to, like, stop the Apple event for 5 to 10 seconds and then play it in order for my reaction to be synced up with the keynote. So we definitely still can do it. But from the number of Twitch accounts I've been reading about that have gotten copyright strikes and they've tried to reach out to Twitch and get them removed, it sounds like Twitch is going through some big changes right now, and they're not being super understanding of it. They're not removing strikes that simply. They're not really being super vocal with people. So I'm not 100% happy with the way they're handling the situation right now, but I'm making the best I can out of it. Switching platforms is really not it's not a consideration for me, because I know how hard it is to get people to switch platforms and stuff like that, and it's taken me years to get to the size of my Twitch account now, and it would take me many, many more years to switch platforms on a different place and somehow get the same amount of revenue I generate from Twitch. So what if the live stream was framed smaller? I don't think that'll do it. I think it has a combination to do with the audio and the visuals on screen. So if it's on screen in any way, shape, or form, I'm pretty sure they can get me for it. So there's things I love about Twitch, and there's things I hate about Twitch. This isn't a situation where I'm, like, completely mad against Twitch, because I feel like this is probably a blanket policy they're now applying to everybody. It's not just me being targeted in specific. And thankfully, Twitch is not my primary source of income. So if I did lose my Twitch account, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd be okay or anything. But no, the strike was directly from Apple. That's what the email said and everything. And it's annoying. It's frustrating, but I get it. It's the world we live in, so we're going to have to do our best to adjust and adapt to it. And so that's sort of the bad news of today. Yeah, if you want my older Twitch streams, they should all be available on the Telosa podcast channel, of course, with the exception of the event reactions. For obvious reasons of legality and copyright strikes, I could not save the WWDC event reaction. They took that down before I got a chance to download it or do anything with it. So because I didn't want to get more copyright strikes, given I've been reacting to Apple events on here for years and it's never been a problem until now, so I know Twitch is allowing more and more companies to issue copyright strikes than before. So I took down all previous Twitch streams because I didn't want to chance it with the music. I've even heard some instances of people getting in trouble for clips generated off of Twitch, which I know a lot of people make clips. So I've deleted all previous clips. I've deleted previous Twitch streams. So that's why, if you were curious, the videos on this page are all gone. There's no previous backlog or anything like that. So in the future, basically, you will have to watch the Apple event or the Google event or whatever I'm reacting to on a separate device. And I will still... We'll see how it goes. I guess the first chance of this will be... the problem with streaming with Discord is there's no monetary benefit there. You know, it's... And it gets really messy when more and more people join the stream. It's also a much smaller platform, so less people would watch it anyway. It'd be difficult to make money on Discord unless we made it a supporters-only thing, but I think most people would be upset by that. Because then there would be no way to watch it unless you're directly supporting me. So, yeah, I think the best case scenario moving forward is going to be you guys watch the event on a separate device, and you can put me alongside your phone. You can put me on your phone or on your Mac to live watch with me, and I know that won't be as fun, but that's the best thing we can do. There will be a little bit of stream lag, so the best thing I can recommend is you just pause the Apple event for 5 to 10 seconds and match the lag. I know it's more complicated, and a lot of people probably aren't even going to bother doing it. I get that, but yeah, I got to make the best with what I can. Got to do it. There's not really a way to do it, no. Oh, man. Let's see. Okay. There's a mod in the chat. They can take care of that. When you have the stream running, just flash the keynote for 5 to 10 seconds every so often so people can sync. I don't think I could do it every 10 seconds. I might be able to turn the screen so you guys see exactly where I am occasionally, but that's essentially where we are. 100 bits from Cyberplays. Thank you. Appreciate the donation. Very, very much appreciate all of the fans we have here on Twitch. There is still ad revenue. And like I said, the majority of what I do on Twitch is this. It's most of the time, you know, free of copyright stuff. It's mostly just Q&As and me interacting with you guys. And I still think there will be a decent number of people that will tune into the event reactions, as more complicated as it will get. Yeah, we can't try Mixer. That's not a thing. Mixer folded. They were just like, we don't actually have any money. Our bad. Is gaming affected by it? A lot of people I've seen on Twitch have been impacted because that's the thing. It's partially Twitch's fault for not acting on it for so long, because apparently Twitch's copyright policy was fairly similar to YouTube. They just weren't enforcing it that much. So what I'd seen countless times on Twitch were people just listen to music while playing games, or watch YouTube videos for fun on Twitch. And Twitch never really did anything about it. They just didn't care. Twitch was just like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that, but oh well. But now they've gotten threatened by lots of different copyright companies with lawsuits and stuff like that. So that has resulted in Twitch. They're like, okay, now we have to pull the YouTube and start issuing strikes and start taking down channels. It sucks, but, you know, it's kind of what we have to happen. Let's see, could you have audio on? I don't think so. I think they would still be able to catch that because it works very similar to YouTube. It's impossible to fake a software update. I'm pretty sure you're fine. Just audio of the event? I still don't think that would work. I still think I could get in trouble for that, and given copyright strikes on Twitch are permanent, I'm not willing to chance it because this is a decent source of revenue for me. It's not the biggest one, but it's one I've worked really hard on to become a verified partner. And there's so many people that have long-term been people donated and become Twitch Prime members. And all that would just go away if we switch platforms. I'm not going to switch platforms. It's taken me forever to get this size of an audience on Twitch, and it would be infinitely smaller if I switched to something else like DLive or Facebook or something like that. So yeah, I now permanently have a copyright strike attached to my account, and it won't go away. So I'm gonna be extra careful moving on forward, just because it's not worth it. I'll be permanently banned from Twitch if I get 3 strikes. So I'm not taking any chances. One strike is enough. I don't need to get two to be taking it seriously. Knowing that 10 years from now I'll still have that strike, I'm just going to be extra cautious. I'm not going to do audio. I'm not going to do, Apple event on the screen in the background. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to be extra cautious and continue to use Twitch like I've been using it as like a Q&A type thing, and talk about what's coming out at the time. And yeah, copyright laws are incredibly dated. I still think Twitch and YouTube could change the way they enforce them quite a bit. For those just tuning in, I received a copyright strike from Apple by reacting to Apple events, which I've reacted to Apple events countless times on Twitch before, Samsung events, Google events. I've never gotten into any trouble, but because Twitch has been threatened with lawsuits, they've basically been required now to start issuing copyright strikes to more and more people. And they're basically the same reason we couldn't do Apple events on YouTube has now been applied to Twitch. So now moving forward, if I do live reactions to stuff, I won't be able to show the keynote on my screen. You'll have to watch it on a device of your own. So that's essentially what happened. Thank you for the bits, though. Thank you for the yeet, Komelbask Meow. Appreciate 16 months of Twitch Prime. Appreciate that. Make a second account for streaming the Apple event. It doesn't work like that. Like I said, if you get 3 strikes, you're permanently banned, and any alternate account you make will also be banned. So you can't just... It's not like if I get 3 strikes and they take down my Twitch page, I can just make another one and start over. If I apply for the partner program again, they will see that and delete the channel. So, yeah, I get it. It's messed up, but this is basically the best way to handle it. Reacting to it on Discord would not make any money whatsoever, and it would be extremely sketch getting that many people tuned into like a voice call type thing. It would not be... I don't believe Tim or Phil or Craig have anything to do with this. It doesn't change my opinion of Apple, because to me it's silly to think that the whole company made this decision as a whole. I'm sure it's one person on one branch of the legal team who has nothing to do with the rest of Apple. So I don't blame... I'm not mad at Apple for this. I'm sure it's just a general rule that they're applying with their legal team. Let's see. I was trying to explain to my friend how copyright works and how he can't have a Spotify playing in the background of his streams. He made a fair point, saying he doesn't understand why he's not allowed, because you can stream music for free, which is true, but it's hard to explain to him. Well, I know it's messy. It's a very complicated law, and it's very dated. Copyright laws have basically remained unchanged since the 70s. There's been very little changes since the internet, which has drastically changed, like, how someone can distribute content. In my opinion, I don't think that's wrong either. Like, if we were to redesign copyright law, I would say that someone should be able to listen to music while playing a game or while hanging out on Twitch, because I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't think they're stealing from the companies that made that music, because no one's tuning into that stream to listen to that music instead of paying for it outright. If someone's commentating, it'd be one thing if they were just streaming the music with nothing else, but if they're just playing a game or they're doing something like that and they're listening to music, I don't think that hurts the artists. I don't think that hurts the bands, and I think laws could be updated to allow people to do that. Or if there's someone like me reacting to a free event that Apple publishes on their site with no ads and it doesn't cost anything to watch, I don't see what the harm is in that, but it's very difficult to get these laws changed. So, did you know there's a limit to how many people you can watch a Blu-ray movie with? Yeah, you have a party of too many people come over and everyone's like, get on the ground! The police break in. How many people are at this movie theater? Usually Twitch is a great way to promote the music. Yeah, I would argue it helps the artist. People could be like, hey, what's playing right now? And they can tune in, and you could have a little ticker on your Twitch stream that says, hey, this is the music I'm listening to. Yeah, it gives exposure to the artist. I agree. I think it could help. I think I was helping Apple personally. 100 bits from Chris Norton says, sorry you got the strike. I love you, all your stuff. Please don't go. I won't go. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not planning on leaving Twitch. I'm not planning on doing anything differently other than the event reactions, which honestly only happens 3 to 4 times a year. So it's not like a major shift in what my Twitch page will be, but it kind of sucks because I know people enjoy it. I enjoy it, and letting you guys be able to watch the Apple event with me was fun and nice, but Sounds like we can't do that anymore. Let's see. Instagram uses Facebook copyright system. Yeah, I doubt it would be much different on Facebook. I think if I switched to Facebook or Instagram, we'd probably just run into the same problem. Let's see. What did he say? He could, but what would be expensive? If he could pay for rights to stream it, but I don't think that is possible for normal copyrighted music. Yeah, paying for the rights to stream stuff is not cheap. It's not something little people can do. Let's see. Cyberplays donated, says Clipper Trick Townsend is Apple's legal people. They're the ones who issue it on behalf of Apple, not anyone at Apple. That's what I figured. It was probably some outsourced or, external legal team that's doing this. So, I don't know. I don't know of a better way to handle it. So, if you're just tuning in and you're not sure what just happened, I'm sorry. We're going to move on. I've been talking about it for like half the stream already. So let's talk about iOS 14 Beta 2, which I've been using for the past couple minutes. They finally updated the calendar app icon, which now gives you the day of the week. So it says Tuesday the 7th. Or no, it said that before. It just minimizes it now to 3 letters. So now it says TUE. No, the public beta is not out. And there's still no clock widget. That's all we cared about from the beginning, right? We needed the clock widget. We still don't have it. They updated, I think, some of the weather app a tiny bit. Before, if it wasn't showing your local weather, it would just show you Cupertino's weather, and now it doesn't do that anymore. That's, I think, the main stuff. The clock app looks slightly different. The clock app got slightly thicker lettering. When adding widgets, the color of the app will match the add button. They changed the smart, what's it called? These things are stupid. I hate this. Control Center makes the smart home stuff these huge tiles, and when you tap them, it opens up this little home menu. I think that's way more complicated than it needs to be. So, the most commonly used bulb, they give an entire giant tile for that's bigger than the now playing tile. I don't know why they made this so much, but I know. The clock widget is no Big Sur. I know, it's not Big Sur. Jiggle mode. I think reaction videos / streams, at least the way you do them, are fair use. I believe they are, but I don't believe I'm going to have much luck going after this and trying to get it removed. From what I've read, Twitch is not really taking counter action. So doesn't matter if it was fair use or not. I got the strike. And the truth is, if you get 3 strikes, you're banned for life. So even if the strikes aren't justified, I've tried to fight this stuff before. I got 2 copyright strikes on YouTube that were completely fair use, and YouTube didn't care, so I'm not fighting it. But there is no now playing widget. That's kind of the problem with widgets. I'll be making a video on that later, but essentially none of them are interactive, which means that you can't really tap or change anything on the widgets. The only thing widgets can do if you tap them is open the app, which I think is kind of I think that's kind of a step backwards, because there used to be widgets in iOS that you could actually tap and interact with. Like, I remember a bunch of people recommending this calculator for iPad app, and it had ads, but you could add it as a widget and then there wouldn't be any ads. So you could just, whenever you swiped over to activate the widgets, you could just type in numbers and use the calculator that way. But now, yeah, they're forcing widgets to be made with Swift UI, as Michael's talking about. And a lot of third parties don't want to use Swift UI, so that's going to result in probably a lot less third parties making third-party widgets. So you probably won't see that much adoption. Let's see. 100 bits from Cyberplay, still waiting for them to take off the analog clock on the Mac. It's so stupid, no point. Yeah, I don't have it on Big Sur, but do you have backtap enabled? If so, does it ever accidentally go off? That's the thing. I had backtap enabled for a while, but I kept accidentally setting it off that it annoyed me, so I turned it off. Because for a while I had 3 taps as a screenshot and 2 taps to go home, but I kept running into situations where it was activating when I didn't want to. So after a while, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to bar. Let's see. Oh, people still talking about it. It makes even less sense. There are political figures who live stream their rallies, and they don't have permission to use that music, seeing as artists have been threatening lawsuits against them, but those don't get removed. Maybe they have. I don't know. I haven't really been following them very closely, but is that from the Renee Ritchie video? He may have talked about it in the Renee. I haven't seen Renee's videos in a while. He may have talked about it in one of his, but will we ever get a calculator app on the iPad? Yeah, as soon as we get a weather app for the iPad. We still don't have it. I don't know why Apple hasn't added it yet. It's confusing to me why they've had so long to add it and they still haven't. But thoughts on the awkward long volume slider and landscape control center? You know, landscape mode on the 11 Pro Max is just kind of awkward in general. I haven't found that many apps that are good at using this type of display in landscape mode. Like Twitter removes a bunch of buttons when I switch to landscape mode. iMessage is hard to look at messages and stuff. So I'm not too upset about the sliders becoming really long like that because I never use Control Center that way anyway, so it's not really a big deal to me. I've not tried the Apple TV beta because I don't have an Apple TV plugged into a television. It's literally sitting under my couch right now doing nothing. I don't use my Apple TV. Let's see. Coming from the Note 10, do you recommend the SE2 or an older phone like the 10 or a 10S? If you're coming from a Note 10, I wouldn't recommend any of those. I would say wait for the 12 or get an 11 or something. But I would say if you were comparing between a 10 or a 10S or an SE2, go with a 10 or a 10S. You'll appreciate the OLED. According to Craig, they don't have those apps because they want to make it amazing for the iPad and not just an iPad copy and on the iPhone. That's stupid. So because they want to make it amazing, they choose to not have it at all. I think that's stupid. I find that silly. That's not good logic. People are using their iPad and they want to do some basic math. There should just be a calculator that they can open. Why is that so complicated? Why do they have to make that so... Well, we want to make it right. We don't want it to just clone over. Why does it need to be different? It works on the iPhone. Just let it work on the iPad. Craig made that up on the spot. Yeah, he did. I believe him. I believe he just made that up. It was just like, we want to do it right, I guess. Have you tried using the smart battery case? I don't have a smart battery case, so no, I haven't. I watched MKBHD's video. I don't remember him talking about that. They probably just forgot. I didn't listen to the whole podcast. That's probably where he talked about it. But I still think that's BS. I don't defend that. Let's see. Well, yes, Apple Jockey. To be fair, the president can do a lot of things I can't do. That's how the world works. They are waiting to have the best weather and calculator app for the iPad, and they already have many third-party apps. Yeah, all the third-party apps suck, though, because they all cost money or they have ads. So even if you made a carbon-cut iPhone copy over on the iPad, it would still be better than the third-party ones. And I don't believe that it takes 10 years to design a calculator app for the iPad. No ads and free. You can do math in Spotlight. Yeah, but it's not as simple. It's not as easy as just a simple, like, all the numbers and all the... You got to do, like, this multiplication icon thing, and it's just too complicated. He says you can use your phone. What if that's a dumb excuse? I'm sorry. I can use that excuse anytime you bring something to the iPad. You guys are all like, bring Final Cut to the iPad. I could be like, just use your Mac. Just use your Mac, though. That doesn't... Just because you can do it on another device doesn't mean we shouldn't bring it. That goes for stocks. That goes for camera. Why do we have a camera on the iPad? Just use your phone. Right? Why do we have Face ID on the iPad? Just use your phone. Why do we have cellular on the iPad? Just use your phone. Doesn't make any sense. No, all the ones on the third party, all the third party ones suck. And they broke them. The best ones on the third party app store let you add them as a widget. That's the only way to use it for free with no ads. And now they don't let interactive widgets work anymore. I don't want to pay for a calculator app. Exactly. It's silly. iPad is a magical piece of glass that instantly turns into anything except the calculator. Craig didn't say you can do that on your phone. Whoever said that just now lied. That's still stupid logic. Whoever said that, I don't care who it was. They were wrong. That's dumb. That doesn't make sense. Do you think we'll ever get a backlighting slider and control center for iPad Pro's Magic Keyboard? Probably not this year, but they could. You know what? I've been using the Magic Keyboard a lot, and I haven't run into a situation where I needed to change the backlit keyboard brightness. It does a pretty good job. It changes automatically. It dynamically changes depending on the lighting of the room. And I've never come to a situation where I needed to change it. So I'm not crazy about letting me change the backlit keyboard brightness on the device. It's not that big a deal. Why does Instagram look so bad on iPad Pro and doesn't work horizontally? Because Instagram hasn't made an iPad app. The only Instagram app on the iPad is just the iPhone version blown up. I don't know why I don't know why Instagram refuses to make an iPad app. They don't have a good excuse. There's going to be a clock widget, but it did not come out today. It did not come out with dev beta. Let's see. You said it with a big smile. As MQB mentioned, they bought the Android weather app. I haven't had much good experience with the new weather app on the iPhone. It's been kind of useless for me. There's been several times where it said that it's drizzling out, and it wasn't drizzling at all. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, and it was like, the drizzling should end in 10 minutes. And I was like, it's not raining. But the air quality has been the exact same every day. Every day for me, it's been 33. Air quality good. Air quality good. Let me see. 35. Air quality good. So I don't have good reasons to use the updated weather app. I still use it basically the same way. Benkind, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Instagram and their refusal to make an iPad app reminds me of Spotify and their refusal to make a good watch/TV app. Really? I thought Spotify had a good watch app. Am I wrong? I just remember people saying that Spotify had a decent app on the Apple Watch, but I don't... Hush! Don't freak me out like that, Siri. Hush. Man, she scared me. My goodness. Gmail finally got split view support. Really? Just now? iOS 14 public beta should come out in the next couple days. We don't know exactly when, but... Yeah, I remember. The Instagram CEO had some BS reason. He said they don't have enough developers to make an iPad app, which is bullcrap, because they did make a Windows 10 Instagram app that works on the Surface Pro and is optimized for a 10-inch display. That is complete bullcrap. I don't know why companies just don't have the time to make these things. They totally have enough developers. It's not that hard to make an iPad app. It really isn't. It's really not that. I mean, it would be barely different from the desktop version. Yeah, the Discord has like 3 devs and they can make an iPad app. They're owned by Facebook. They could find/hire the devs if they really wanted to. I don't think they're short on devs. I just think they don't want to for some reason. Hicks93, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Have you checked out Microsoft's calculator on the App Store? No, because that's not a solution. I want Apple to make one. And I want it to be built in by default. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I'm sorry. Siri is getting scary, I know. I heard that today, though, I think one of the changes with iOS 14 Beta 2 is that you can now finally set third parties for different apps, like your default music streaming app can be Spotify now, your default mail app can be Gmail. I think they finally started rolling that out, so that change is coming. Oh, it's only on the HomePod, not iOS yet. Okay, well, it'll eventually come on iOS. So on the HomePod, you can switch it to Spotify. If you're on iOS 14 Dev Beta, how do you update to iOS 14 Public Beta? I think you just download a different profile, from what I believe. Oh yeah, Galaxy Home never came out. That's right. That thing still hasn't come out. Didn't they unveil that with the Note 9? On iPad, the Twitter app just copies the desktop version, and it looks beautiful when you drag it into slide over Twitter. It looks on the iPad. Yeah, I use Twitter on the iPad all the time. It looks great. I save the Instagram website as an icon on the home screen, and it works great on iPad. It acts like an app. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that, actually. That makes a lot of sense. That's actually just perfect. You just open it up, and it takes you to the web version. Although you can't post from the web version, which still makes sense. Oh, good. People are making clips again. I'm sorry I had to delete all the clips. I just didn't want to chance it, okay? I'm annoyed with Twitch for the copyright stuff, but at the same time, I'm really proud of the Twitch community we've built. I'm really proud of becoming a partner and the number of viewers we have and the number of people with the emotes and the Twitch primes and the bits and how much people have donated and been generous on here. I don't want to lose Twitch, all right? I don't want to give this up. So I'm going to try to hold on to it as much as I can. Progressive web apps kind of solve the Windows lack of app issues. It takes the websites, makes an app, and in some apps you still get offline access. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Oh, I see. There's no iPad Instagram app for the same reason that YouTube doesn't automatically switch with dark mode, neither does Facebook and Gmail. Only got split view this week because these big companies are lazy. The only reason Gmail got split view was because Apple had a June 30th deadline where all apps had to have split view support. Really? All apps had to have split view support. I didn't know that. Does that mean Amazon and Facebook support split view now? I thought they didn't. Huh. Wait, did they not roll that out? Now I gotta try. I think I just put the developer beta on my iPad too, so if there's changes brought to the iPad, I can mess around with them. Because for the longest time, there were a bunch of iPad apps that still hadn't... Oh. Oh, jeez. Google Drive is emailing me, letting me know my storage... I stopped paying for Google Drive because I can do everything on YouTube with iCloud Drive now. No, Amazon still doesn't support split view. So I don't know if they mandated it. There was a June 30th deadline. Well, how come Amazon doesn't have it? How do they get away with it? It still doesn't work. They missed their deadline. What's going to happen? Is Apple going to remove it? I still think that's stupid. That an app would be like, no, we don't want you to use multiple apps at the same time. There is YouTube Auto Dark Mode. Yeah, I thought there was. Let's see. There are many games, though, that do not support split view. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they make an excuse for games. There was an update available for Amazon. I just updated the app, and it still does not support split view, so I don't know what y'all talking about. If they don't update the app, they don't need to add it. Well, I just issued an update from today. Well, it says it's from today. 15.14.0. Yeah, it didn't work. I don't think it's that crucial. Maybe if you want your app to be a default, you have to support split view. Maybe, or something like that. Google Plus is officially dead as of yesterday. It turned into Google Currents for enterprises. Was Google Plus alive for the past few weeks? I thought they killed that off months ago. Facebook has a patent for tracking your facial reactions to ads. Ew. Oh, God, I hope they never do that. Oh, they probably already are doing it. I would love if you could have music from your iPad and music from your iPhone at the same time. For example, if you could play a game on your iPad whilst watching a video on your iPhone. What? You mean with AirPods or something? What the heck? Hey, Signeri's in the chat. Thanks for waddling in. Appreciate it. Let's see. Well, now at least we would know if they were using the camera on iOS, but I bet on Android they could get away with it. Using the camera, analyzing our facial reactions to ads. Come on, Facebook, really? They did kill it off months ago. It's just only for the G Suite members now, but they changed the name to Current. Oh, God. It's so stupid. Do you think YouTube will ever get picture-in-picture on the iPhone? I feel like probably won't because they've had the option to put it on the iPad for years and they still haven't. So I don't know why it would be any different with the iPhone. But maybe if people complain enough, or maybe if Apple starts mandating that if you're like a video streaming app, you have to support picture-in-picture. Maybe if Apple started doing that, they could get away with it. But Facebook's dev team is just lazy. It's been a year since iOS 13, and Facebook still doesn't support dark mode, so an Instagram app for iPad is never going to happen. Yeah, it feels like they've had 10 years to make one, and they still haven't. So why bother at all? But it'd be interesting if Apple started enforcing it more, roughly. If they did something like At this point, I would expect an Instagram for Mac app before an iPad app. I heard Facebook is getting dark mode soon, but it's still just like, feels bizarre that they haven't got it yet after all this time. No, YouTube does not support picture-in-picture. They can't make it picture-in-picture for YouTube Premium, which I think is part of the problem because YouTube wants picture-in-picture to be a premium feature, but Apple has a requirement that you can't hide picture-in-picture behind a paywall. So for that reason, they just leave it off by default. I think that's kind of the dilemma they're at here. You can use YouTube with picture-in-picture if you just bring it through Safari. I do that all the time. It's kind of a complicated workaround, but yeah, you can, if you go to YouTube on Safari on your phone and full screen the YouTube video, then you can activate picture-in-picture. I've done that quite a bit. It's been kind of handy. I used it a lot last night. I watched a lot of videos while still using Discord, but just having picture-in-picture in the corner. Though I still run into the issue where it's in the way all the time. Picture-in-picture is a lot more reasonable on the iPad compared to the phone because the phone, it's always covering up a button or an option I'm trying to reach. Apple does allow Google to lock out background play. Yeah, background play, but I don't know about picture-in-picture. I don't think that's a premium feature they can keep in the back. I'm still irritated that YouTube dark mode doesn't switch with the system. You have to manually go in and change it. I thought they changed that, but I could be wrong. Are you familiar with First Robotics? I am. My dad participates in those with his classroom every year. I think I was in one of the competitions back in the 6th grade or the 5th grade or something. I think it was 5th grade. I was in a robotics, First Robotics competition. And then in high school, I was not part of the robotics team, but I had to film the robotics team, and I edited a video for them that they really liked. So, yeah, they added auto to YouTube for the dark mode to change dynamically, I think. You can also get picture-in-picture, no ads on YouTube if you jailbreak. Yeah, but that's going to hurt creators. Don't jailbreak and get rid of ads. That's how people you watch make money. It's a form of piracy. Don't do it, people. But jailbreaking is far more complicated than just opening up Safari with iOS 14, especially given we're getting public betas in a couple days. I can never relate to matters surrounding YouTube ads because I have premium. Me too! That's the best solution. If you want to get rid of YouTube ads, sign up for YouTube Premium. It's a great service. You'll get YouTube Music, you get background play, you get offline downloads, and you support all of the people you watch more so than if you just watch commercials. So people get to, the people that you enjoy watching get rewarded for it. So please, I don't love YouTube for much, but YouTube Premium is a great subscription, and I wish more people would sign up for it. YouTube Premium is great. I saw fake Apple ads on YouTube. They really don't care. Yeah, YouTube needs to work on the video, the ads they put in the homepage, because there's a bunch of commercials for stuff that's like, how to download more RAM here or get free V-Bucks and that kind of thing. Ad blocker is free. It's like saying a Lamborghini is free if you steal one. It's a form of piracy to use an ad blocker on a YouTuber. And if you're saying, well, they'll be fine, they'll make enough money, just understand it's the same logic as pocketing a chocolate bar at a convenience store. It's the same exact thing. Will 7-Eleven go out of business because you pocketed a chocolate bar? No. Is it stealing and is it wrong? Yes. It is. It's stealing, it's theft, and it's wrong. Don't do it. YouTube Premium is not $30. It's like $12. I'm pretty sure it's cheaper for students. And I believe it's $12 a month. It's super worth it. I don't know if it's necessarily illegal, but outside of the law, it's morally not right to use an ad blocker. It's still a form of piracy. I mean, it's not, it's partial, for certain sites, I think it is illegal. It's just not really enforced. Like, you know, downloading Game of Thrones for free off uTorrent isn't going to make the FBI show up at your house, but that doesn't mean it's legal. Google Search, in fact, a group of publishers in Hamburg, Germany, was so upset they actually took AdBlock Plus to court today after a 4-month trial. Reasonable heads prevailed as the regional court in Hamburg ruled in our favor by declaring that ad blocking is, in fact, perfectly legal. It's not right, though. If everyone did it, we wouldn't have content to watch. Redirect people to your old Hello World video. Yeah, we made a whole Hello World way back. But whether or not it's illegal is besides the point, other than the fact that it hurts people. It hurts content creators. And if everyone did it, then you wouldn't have content to watch. If I was using AirPods, I would love if you would have music from your iPad and music from your iPhone at the same time. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be kind of complicated. I'd rather pay $10 a month for unlimited music with Apple than $12 a month for no ads with YouTube and background video. I can use Safari for that. Also, YouTube has been steadily increasing the price of both. They've increased the price of YouTube Premium one time. That's not steadily. YouTube TV went up in price substantially, but that's not the same thing. You don't have to get both. There's no reason to get both. There are lots of things that are legal but aren't good. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. No, adblock is not like tipping. Adblock would be closer to dine and dashing because the waitress or the waiter will still get paid whether you tip them or not. I won't get paid at all if you use adblock. I don't. If the law says that's not legal, I think the law is wrong, especially when it comes to YouTube and content creators that are, you know, not owned by a larger corporation or anything. I'm only getting paid based on people who watch via YouTube Premium or people who watch ads when they watch my videos. And it's probably against YouTube terms of service, I'm sure. Let's see. I wouldn't compare it to not tipping, because that person will get paid whether you tip them or not. In India, YouTube Premium's $2 a month. Man, that's nice. You can get ad blockers that make them think you've watched the ads. I don't think YouTube will pay you if the ad is not registered, though. That's the thing. I don't care. I'm not saying whether or not it's technically or there's some fine print somewhere that says it's legal to use. I'm saying it hurts people. You know. That's the takeaway that should be there. If you want to support the people that you enjoy watching, don't use an ad blocker. If everyone thought that way, you wouldn't have content creators. I couldn't do this. I couldn't make content for you guys. You wouldn't be watching this live stream right now if everyone used ad block. Yeah, no, I can complain about you can't go. Oh, what did he say? You can't go use ad block and then complain about how all YouTubers keep promoting Raid Shadow Legends. Well, I don't use ad block and I still complain about that. That's my argument there, because I'm trying to prove to people with the Tailosive Network you don't need to have sponsored videos to make a decent living off of YouTube. It's not required. But you are forcing YouTubers to look at more alternative forms of revenue when you steal from them. Yeah, it's not good. How is it different to walking into a theater after the ads are over? Because you have to pay to walk into the theater. It would be more equivalent to walking into a theater without paying. If the movie was free and you watch the ads, that would be a different story, but that's not what happens. What happens is you pay to enter the movie theater, and then you watch. If you're paying nothing, ads are a necessary evil. I get it. Ads are annoying. That's why I pay to get rid of them. But if you're not watching the ads, which is what allows the content to be free, and you're not paying anything to watch the content, it's piracy. It's stealing. On the touch bar, you can skip ads by scrubbing on the touch bar. Is that okay? I use YouTube Premium. I don't do that. I don't think it's necessarily the same thing because the ad still plays. But thank you for the bits. Appreciate that. Let's see. You can use a VPN, connect it to an Indian server, and create a Google account from India and subscribe to YouTube Premium for $2. I know a lot of Americans who do the same for NBA League Pass. It's $10 yearly. I don't know if that's legal or not, but do I think YouTube should put a cap on how many ads they put on a video, because some videos would have 5 ads for 25-minute vids? What do you think? Yeah, I don't love that they're doing that. I just got the emails that they're changing the policy to let you do mid-roll ads on 8-minute videos, but I do think they need to redesign their automatic mid-roll thing, because currently, like, some videos they won't do any mid-rolls on, and other videos they'll put like 50 within a 1 hour video. Watching ads is a bit like a currency. It isn't hard. I don't want to get fed. How many times do I have to say it? I don't care if it's technically legal. It's stealing. It's piracy. I don't care if the fine print or contract somewhere said that it's perfectly legal, because it still hurts people. It hurts content creators. Does watching a YouTube as a YouTube Premium user help the creator more than normal? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Because what a YouTuber gets paid when it comes to ads is dependent on how many advertisers are pooling into the, YouTube ads that month. That's what affects our CPM. So in January, it's much lower than it is in December. But YouTube Premium is consistent. That's the same price throughout the year. So that's why it means that if everybody had YouTube Premium, all YouTubers would make way more money throughout the year. Thank you to the people who do. What do you think about people who pirate Adobe Photoshop to start their career? Again, it's a form of theft. It's stealing. It's not right. It's not good. And if everybody did that, Adobe wouldn't exist. It's just a very selfish mindset is my point. That's what I find kind of annoying about it, is people are just like, well, everybody else can do it. I just don't want to. You think everybody else loves watching ads? No, they don't, but they know they have to in order for channels to stay afloat. And you're just like, well, everybody else can put up with the ads, but I don't want to. I don't want to pay. I don't want to do anything. I just want to watch content for free and get rid of the ads. And I don't care if it hurts the creator, because I just want to watch the content and have him not get anything out of it. It's very selfish. Yeah. Does the student versus normal YouTube Premium affect revenues at all? I don't believe so. I believe the student premium just results in YouTube getting a lower share, but the creator themselves get more. Can with Twitch Prime, but for older people like my grandparents, they need an ad block, or else they would end up clicking sketchy ads that end up infecting their computer. No, I'm sorry, that just doesn't work. I think you're not seeing both sides of the equation that well. It's not about, I will choose to support them if I think they deserve it, and I will steal from creators that I don't think deserve money. That doesn't make sense. It's not your job as the viewer to decide which content creators should get paid and which ones shouldn't get paid. And if you don't feel like paying them that day, you can just avoid it. If you don't think a content creator deserves them and you're watching them, then yeah. The subscription model of business has lately been under some heat. Lately, BMW added the heating feature in the cars as a subscription service, and people are really upset with it. If you have the hardware, it should be made available to all instead of milking every ounce of money from customers. Well, there is, more interestingly, I think, two sides to that story. Because on one hand, yes, I can understand people saying, like, hey, I've got the hardware, my car is capable of doing it, so let me use it. But on the other hand, you can look at it as the company wanting to lower the cost and find profit margins elsewhere. Because I don't think that if companies weren't allowed to do subscription models on cars like that, then they would just leave the prices the same and not have those subscriptions. If anything, to ensure the certain profit margins they need to succeed, because for a business to breathe, they literally need money. So that's why companies, yes, they care about money, because if they didn't, they wouldn't exist. That's kind of the point of a business. But look at it this way. If there wasn't a subscription option for them to make back that profit elsewhere, the car overall would probably just cost more. That's the only way they could assure more profit margin. So the way I see it, they're able to lower the price of the car knowing that they can make profit elsewhere with those subscriptions or through those software packages. So look at it in the way of, let's say, for the sake of simplicity, Model 3 is $40,000. But this isn't a real-life example, but it's an extreme to prove my point. Let's say the Model 3 is $40,000, but Tesla will lower the price by $3,000 if they cap the top speed at 100 miles an hour. So you can't drive the car over 100, and you save $3,000. A lot of people would do that, I think. And Tesla could sell that back to you later for $3,000 in software purchases, $3,000 in software packages. You can allow the car to go over 100 miles an hour. Okay, cool. Let the people who don't care about that top speed and that performance, let them save money, and let the people who do care about that top speed performance, they can pay. That way Tesla can still secure that profit margin, and people who don't care can save some money. That's not a real life example. That's not how it works. I'm just providing an extreme to give you guys perspective on it's a money saving tactic for the end consumer. That way they can justify still getting their profit margins by other means. Because they know some people will still spend the money to get the best performance possible. But some people don't care enough. Similar to the rear heated seats of the Model 3. Like, I think if you get the partial premium interior on the Model 3, this is not a made up example. This is a real thing. But if you buy like the Standard Range Plus or the Standard Range Model 3, you don't have the rear heated seats activated, even though it has the hardware. It has the hardware equipped for the rear heated seats, but they're not turned on. You can buy them for $300. So instead of looking at it as, well, Tesla's greedy, Tesla's stupid, they should just enable that. If Tesla was not allowed to sell you that software package, the overall price of the car would just be $300 higher. Look at it that way, instead of they should just not try to penny pinch you. Because that's why they do that, is so that they can lower the price of the vehicle for everyone else and find ways of assuring profit margin elsewhere. So that's the way I see it. I get the frustration, but at the same time, I think business-wise it kind of makes sense. And I'm kind of in favor of it. Because in my example, like, I don't have a Tesla, but if I was buying one, like, I'm never going to use the rear heated seats. I live in a very warm climate. It doesn't get very cold here. And I'm going to be driving the car everywhere I go. So if the company's willing to hand me $300 and turn off a software feature that I'm not planning on using, sure, go ahead. Turn off that software feature. I'm not going to buy it. Go ahead. BMW is a gas-fueled car having the hardware equipped. I agree that it's frustrating when they do a subscription for the seats, but require hardware for heating is extra weight that the car has to carry. If I don't intend to ever pay for that subscription, I'm having to use more fuel to drive my car around with the extra hardware. Yeah, the thing is, I really don't think the weight isn't going to impact your performance that drastically. And I also think it's actually cheaper for Tesla to include it in all their cars and just turn it off in some of them than it would be to have a separate assembly line designing Model 3s just specifically that don't have the rear heating equipment, because that would require a different assembly line, a different assembly process. So at the end, I just don't think it would be worth it. It's simpler for them to just leave it off via software. Let's see. Love that idea. I'm just worried that one day subscriptions are going to be so bad that you can pay $1,000 for an iPhone, but then you have to pay $5 a month to use the camera, $10 a month to get good quality display. No, I don't think it would be like that. The only instance in which they would have subscriptions for every feature of the phone is if the phone costed like nothing. Typically, if a company does subscriptions, it's so that they can save money in other departments. And I haven't seen Apple do anything that used to be free, now put it behind a subscription. I haven't seen that so far. Yeah, we all got the time to stand notification at the same time. Yeah, the Note 20 looks boring. I'm sorry. I saw pictures of it leaked. It looks so boring. I don't care about the Note 20. You can format it to store only apps. Let's see. Did I miss anything up here? Apple should not be selling iMacs with hard disk drive. Yeah, I agree. They should get rid of that. Who drives over 100 miles an hour? I know. It's an extreme example. That's my point. It proves my point. If the point of an extreme example is to give you perspective on, like, if this was a thing, you would do it right. Just like, it's not a prediction, but like, if Apple let you save money on the iPhone by unchecking the included chargers and headphones, everyone would do it. That's not going to happen, but it proves my point. If you could save money at checkout by not including the charger and headphones, most people would do it. And that's why Apple's just preemptively making that decision for everyone. Let's see. There's a reason for that. They can't control what ads appear, so they don't do that to protect you from seeing inappropriate ads and malicious ads. That's different. Ad filtering is different from ad blocking. Adobe offered student pricing for those starting out with the expectation that once they graduated, they would purchase a full license. Fair. That's not what happened to me. I was on Creative Cloud when I was a student. It was only $15 a month, and then a few years in, it became $20 a month, and then it became $30 a month, and they were about to raise it to $50 a month. That's when I canceled it because I thought it was ridiculous. Some subscriptions do go too far. I agree. I think Adobe went too far. Let's see. I don't think that basic car features should be put behind a subscription. Heated seats, air conditioning, heat. I don't think any of that should be behind a paywall. If I could go out and buy a car from 2007 that has all these features for free, then I shouldn't have to buy a car in 2021 that has them from a monthly subscription. Again, well, what you're asking them to do is raise the overall price. Because if you gave the company the choice to have a lower starting price with subscriptions, or, hey, no more subscriptions, just include all the hardware, the price will go up. That's the point of them offering subscriptions. So if Tesla decided, okay, you know what, we're going to make full self-driving built into every car, starting price would be like $50,000, not $30,000. It would be way up higher. So by leaving those software packages out of the initial purchase, they're able to lower the price. And the car you get in 2021 can probably do a ton more than your 2007 car that had all that stuff included. Raphius, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Yeah, BMWs are extremely expensive. I get it. I get why people are mad about that, but at the same, I'm just saying the way Tesla's doing it makes sense. The way BMW's doing it, yeah, I don't know. I think it can be done right, but it can be abused, and BMW's probably abusing it. They're going too far. I'm not defending BMW's stupidity, but I'm saying there's business tactics in other companies that are similar that make more sense to me. The way BMW is doing it doesn't make sense to me, but there are similar things. Like premium connectivity for the Tesla as a subscription makes sense to me. I get why they do that, because it costs them money for Teslas to use cellular connectivity, so charging for that to offset the cost makes sense. Well, what you're saying, if you're saying they shouldn't do it, then you're saying the car should be more expensive. If the company's willing to software lock features I don't plan on using and lowering the price of the car, literally look at it that way. You know, if we will give you $5,000 back if you don't drive the car over 100 miles an hour, everyone would do it. That's my point. If you can software lock things that I don't plan on using and lower the price of the car, then I'll do it. Yeah. What car would Drew get if Tesla didn't exist? Oh, probably the cheapest gas car I could find. Do you think Apple will make a way for car key to work in older cars? No, I doubt it. I don't think Apple cares that much about it. They're going to let automakers do the work. What happens when you sell the car as secondhand or the subscription service is transferred? Nope, I don't believe so. I think they're limited to the owner. If you don't think BMW should do it, buy an Audi or a Mercedes. Vote with your wallet. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Don't buy that car if you don't like that they do that. A lot of people would prefer to pay for it later if it's needed and not pay for it now, which I think makes sense. If you could buy the product without the rear heated seats because you don't plan on using them and save money, then save money. And if you feel like it should be included, then the car company's just going to charge what it would have cost you to pay for it with the software package. So full self-driving is capable of every Tesla being made right now. If you guys think that should be on by default, you want Teslas to cost far more than they do today. Do things like full self-driving stuff behind the paywall makes sense, but basic features doesn't. Well, basic features is negligible. I wouldn't consider rear heated seats a basic feature because I don't plan on ever using it. So paying for it doesn't make sense to me. A lot of car companies charge extra for CarPlay, that's true. Yeah, I could agree it's nicer to have rear heated seats be a one-off payment instead of a subscription. But if it helps lower the price of the car, I get it. If you hack your Tesla, you can make it go faster for free. Yeah, and void your warranty. And potentially block yourself out of future service from them. And I'm just saying, people who have modified their Teslas and hacked them to go faster have not experienced great help from Tesla when they needed it. So if you're ready to tear up your warranty and not get help from Tesla in the future, I guess go for it. But I wouldn't do it. They're only good if you have kids and live in a cold climate. There's a lot of places it's not that cold. that rear heated seats would make that big of a difference. Yeah, there are some people online right now that are figuring out how to jailbreak basically their Teslas, but Tesla has shown they are not very friendly or helpful to those people. It also can destroy your battery, yeah. Elon will go after you and block your supercharging, as shown by Rich Rebuilds. Yeah, it's a messy situation, but I can kind of see both sides of it. I mean, there's very little incentive for Tesla to help people that are not paying them, because they're a new company and they're trying to be as profitable as possible, and they're trying to survive. So providing service and providing supercharging for free to people that haven't even bought a car from them, you know, it kind of doesn't help the company move forward. But at the same time, it feels sucky for the person who put all that work into the car. They need to figure out what to do with salvage vehicles, and they need an approval process to let certain people use them and certain people understand, because there's one thing when someone knows how to fix the car and they can put it together right and make it work, but then there's some people that don't know what they're doing and can potentially cause a lot of damage, and potentially, you know, if a Tesla catches on fire at a supercharging station because some moron didn't know how to put it back together correctly, Tesla's going to get blamed for that. They're going to get the hate for that, even if it wasn't their fault. So they have to be kind of overly cautious about that thing. But I agree, there should be some type of system in place for Tesla to check who's done it right, who's done it wrong, you know, that kind of thing. 100 bits from Cyberplays. Thank you very much. What's your thoughts on right to repair? We take too long to talk about. We've talked about it so many times in the past. I basically think companies should be able to design products the way they want to. And if you don't like the way they're providing service, or you don't like the way they're designing their product, then you shouldn't buy it. I feel like it's that simple. I feel like if we required every single product a company built to be repairable by the users or by third parties, then we wouldn't have the amazing products we have today. If they don't want to let people buy parts, I mean, that's frustrating to the third parties, but I don't know why a government has to get involved and say, yes, you have to provide service. To me, that's just like, okay, don't buy that brand if you don't like it. Don't buy into that. But some people don't mind it, and they buy into that brand, and they don't really have an issue with it. But I'm not a repairman, you know. I'm just a guy who talks about products online. So you shouldn't take my word as sacred or damaging, because it's just an opinion, and my opinion isn't hurting anybody. I'm not actively going out saying stop right to repair. You know, if you want to support it, go ahead. Find businesses and brands that support your viewpoint and support your opinion. But you know, the problem is I've had so many disagreements with people on right to repair that get very, very, very hostile about it quickly and take it personally and get angry at me for it. It's about access to parts. Well, I mean, again, the company decided to make that product. If they want to supply parts to people, then great, but I don't know if they should a government come in and say you have to provide parts to other people? Do we need that? What's going to happen if we don't? Well, now I can only get service at this company. Okay, then don't buy that company. It's like, I support a company's poor decisions. If Google wants to make stupid decisions with their hardware, Apple wants to make stupid decisions that make it hard to repair the devices, I think they should be able to. I don't think we should force companies to make decisions in a certain way or form. Just let them do what they want, and if you don't like it, don't buy them. That's how I see it. Because a lot of people I know have had terrible experiences when they go to third-party shops. And I've heard countless stories of people that tried to get something fixed, not at Apple, and the product ended up getting worse. And then sometimes they take it to Apple and blame them for it. I've seen a ton of those stories. So I can see why a company would kind of say, like, you know what, we'll repair this. We can't oversee other businesses. We can't oversee other brands and make sure they're repairing it correctly, so we're not interested in providing those parts. What if they intentionally design it to make it hard to repair? Okay, then if that's bad for the consumer, then the consumer won't buy it. And they will die off. I believe, kind of, to a certain extent, I feel like the free market will figure itself out. I know Apple has been known to make things hard to repair, but I feel like the consumers are still buying the product. And if it was that big of an issue and people were upset with the situation, they would stop buying the product. But they're still buying them. So let the company make poor decisions if they want to, essentially, is what I'm saying. But I'm no expert on this, guys, really. I'm really no... I really have such little interest or care in the subject. I'm really just a guy who buys products I like and leave it at that. I don't see the need to get government involved more and more on issues that, you know... It's like we all talked about with switching Lightning and USB-C. I really want USB-C on the iPhone, but I don't really support the ideology that the government should force Apple to use USB-C. I don't think we need the government to step in and just say, like, you have to design a product a certain way, or you have to provide parts to people who want them. If they don't want to provide parts, they don't want to provide parts. Yes, that's inconvenient. Yes, that's hard, but that's the company's choice. They built the thing. Apple doesn't do it. If you have to go a third party, there needs to be a better training process for third parties if they want to get rid of bad repair places. Yeah, it's just, I don't know if they want to take all that responsibility. You know, what's in it for Apple to make third parties better at their job? Apple doesn't really get much out of that. They would rather you just go to them. Apple does better than anyone at making it real easy to get support for your device and schedule repair with them or authorized provider. Well, that's good. I just mean that I know Apple has made it hard to repair a lot of devices, but I've been using the products for years, and I've had a great experience with them, and I haven't run into a situation where, because of their right to repair, because of their lack of right to repair policies, I have resulted in a worse product experience. Some people may have, and to those of you who don't like it, I encourage you, look elsewhere, shop elsewhere, find a company that does support that, and go after them. You know, vote with your wallets. Let's see. Makes sense for me, like ventilators, not for phones. Yeah, I can see that. Government making Apple use USB-C on iPhone is equivalent to the teacher telling you to make your science project just because they are above you doesn't allow them to change your endeavors. Yeah, I mean, how much government involvement is needed? Like, if, I don't know, it felt like if human rights were being violated, I guess that's the whole debate, is right to repair. If someone was being physically hurt by the lack of supply parts, then it would be one argument. But this is just like repair shops want to continue their business, and certain brands are like, that's not our priority. We don't want to make sure that everybody else has a job. We just want to make sure we have jobs and can provide good jobs. I can see why it's debatable, but I don't feel too strongly about it. Let's see. Thoughts on OnePlus Nerd. You have a recommendation for a good time machine? The flux capacitor. DeLorean's a good time machine. It's not a leaked iPhone 12 box. It's a rendering. Some conceptor made one. It's not an actual leak. Anyway, I got to get a video up today, guys. I got to end the stream. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. I apologize if I ticked a bunch of you off. I just want you guys to know it's not my intention. I just have one opinion. You are welcome to disagree with that opinion. And I would love to sit down with someone and just talk about why right to repair is important and just kind of have a debate about it. The issue is, anytime I try to do that with people on Discord and Twitter, it just instantly becomes toxic. They start telling me I'm evil and I'm this terrible human being. And I'm not interested in discussion if you're going to get all personal about that. If we're just going to have a sit-down, objective, normal discussion about it, then I'd be into it. But we got to find someone willing to do that first. 100 bits from Cyberplays. Unless you are certified and take the online test and pass it, you can repair that, my thought. Okay, there you go. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a good day.